Should you rent or should you buy? That is the question of the day. And I'm going to give you hard numbers with real facts so you can take it to the bank and know what's the best choice for you. We're going to talk honestly. Tune in to Moveonomics and find out what's best for you. Hello and welcome to Moveonomics. I'm Peter Fife with Coldwell Banker Northland in beautiful Prescott, Arizona, where Prescott is everybody's hometown. Now, this may be one of the most important videos I've done in a very long time. I'm going to talk to you as if I'm talking to my own children or my own family, because I think real numbers and real facts is how we make real good decisions, okay? So I went back in time and I grabbed a subdivision that is a track community because it's easier to really track home prices and home values. And the home I chose actually sold in 2012, 2019, and now is on the market in 2025. So they're real numbers. And we're going to do some deep dive into, is it better to rent or is it better to buy? What should I do? A good rule of thumb is if you know with an 80% surety that you're going to be in a location for 5 years or more, it's pretty much a no-brainer that you should always buy. Now, you got to have good credit, you got to have enough income to qualify. Those are some things that we can talk about in another show. But basically, if you can afford to buy and you have good credit and income, always buy within a 5-year time frame. Now, let's talk about this specific home. Now, this home is in Granville, a community in Prescott Valley. It's a tract community. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 3-car garage and on a decent lot, 2,071 square feet. That home, brand new in 2012, sold for $271,000. That was the sales price, okay? Now, if you got an FHA loan at the time, which is 3.5% down or roughly 10 grand out of pocket, you'd have a loan somewhere around $260,000, and the interest rates at the time were right around 3%. Your payment would have been $1,100 a month. Okay, rent at the time was about even. You would have been paying $1,100 a month for rent. Now, the difference between a fixed mortgage and rent is almost always rents go up, generally speaking, unless it's rent controlled, okay? And when you do the math and you look at that, it makes a big difference. And let me show you what kind of big difference it makes. These are some hard numbers. So stick with me because this is really important. Number one, $1,100 a month over 5 years, you would have paid $66,000 in mortgage payments. Now, the thing that you get when you own a home is you're paying down for principal. You would have paid $30,000 towards principal in that 5-year period of time. So your hard cost out of pocket would have been around $36,000, and your average rent or the amount it cost you would have been $600. Now, the rents, I did an average of $1,100 a month at the time, which is pretty close, and I only upped the rent $75 a year, which is probably really low. When I did the math, you would have paid $75,222 in rent, $225 in rent, over that same 60-month period of time. Here's where it gets interesting. Home prices went up 30% between 2012 and 2018, and you would have walked away in your pocket after expenses of paying realtors and everything with $92,700 in your pocket at the end of 5 years. In your pocket, you're walking away with $92,700. Whereas renting, you would have been out of pocket $75,225. The gap, meaning what you gained by owning and what you lost by renting, would have been $131,925 between 2012 and 2019. Now, 18, I mean. Let's take 2019 and go up to 2023. 5 years, 19, 20, 21, 23. Okay, 5 more years. Let's see what happened in those 5 years. Now, house price sold in 2019 for $355,000. Okay, Interest rates at that time were 4%. Your house payment would have been $1,450 a month, and you would have paid $87,000 in that 5-year period of time. And you would have saved basically $25,800 versus what you would have paid in rent. Rent at that time was going up basically $200 a month and even more. So you went from paying a payment of about $1,400 a month in 2019, which was a little bit less than what you're paying for the mortgage, to when we ended right around $2,700 roughly. And that's probably on the low side. Right now it's $2,850 for that exact same house. So let's pretend that right now that exact same house is on the market for $569. Let's just say you got it for $550. And let's just say it was worth $550 at that time. Okay? That was a 55% increase in value from 2019. The gap would have been $220,800. That's what you would put in your pocket in savings over that 5-year period of time, owning versus renting. Now, here's the good news about owning. You own it. You can paint any color you want to. You can have your dogs. You can do whatever you want to do because it's your house. Okay? Big plus. Now I'm going to take the absolute worst case scenario that we can think of right now. Okay? And we're going to say, what happens if I bought a house today? What if I bought that exact same house today for $550,000 and I put 3.5% down, which would be around $20,000, and you bought it for $550? So your payment would be $3,650 a month for that house. Now you go, wait a second, I can rent that house for $2,850 right now. That is true. Rents are cheaper than what you can pay for a house because the mortgage rates are 6.75. Historically, whenever I've seen that, rents have always gone up. Always. Because guess what? Landlords don't like losing money. Okay? So I'm going to do the most gentle raise of rents possible. And I'm going to take the most conservative appreciation for a home in the next 5 years. Okay? Let's say in 5 years, home prices only went up 10%. Okay, that's 2% per year, which is really, really low. So by the time you sold your house, again, you'd be paying down $33,000 in principal, and you would make a profit of about $34,000 on your house in that same 5-year period of time. When I did the math on the rents, over the 5-year period of time, you'd be paying $183,000 in rent because rent would go up at least $100 a year, which is probably unrealistic and way too low. It's probably going to go up way more than that. And on the house, you'd be paying $187,000 for your fixed mortgage rate. That's also assuming that you don't refinance when interest rates go down. If interest rates go down, the numbers even look better. If it gets higher, and let's say we have inflation, it gets even better. But this is the worst case scenario. Basically, worst case scenario, 10% appreciation, rent's only going up $100 a month, you still come out ahead by $30,000 over a 5-year period of time. Not to mention, here's the reality. People go, oh, well, what if everything tanks and I can't afford it? Da, da, da. Guess what? In a rental, if you don't make your payment on a rental, you're out in 2 weeks. On a house, let's say everything goes south and you can't make your mortgage payment. First of all, historically, when things got really bad, they did a moratorium on foreclosures twice. Both in 2008, 9, 10, and in the COVID situation. They wouldn't let banks foreclose on them, giving people almost 2 full years of free mortgage. And let's say you still get foreclosed on the other 2 years, you don't make that mortgage payment. Guess what? If you kept the same loan, they can't come after you for the difference. That's 2 years worth of mortgage or payments you're not paying. What'd you save? Oh, wait, way more than that. Even in the worst, in a regular scenario, it still takes a bank 6 months to foreclose on you, which you don't want to do. Don't get me wrong. Usually you have more equity than that. What I'm basically saying is, if you're going to be in a place 5 years, it's an absolute no-brainer to make sure that you buy and don't rent. So start saving your pennies, because you do need at least 3.5% down, and make sure you make a good income and keep your credit really good. A good way to keep your credit good, by the way, is always pay off your credit card debt. Don't pay interest on it. 23% interest is going to kill you. So make sure that you're paying off your credit card balance every month so you don't have to pay that interest. It's going to make your credit look like a superhero, and you're going to do awesome. Now, if you're thinking about buying, give me a call, 928-636-7000. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sorry, this one is a little bit too in the details and maybe a little boring, but you need this information. So share it with your kids, your grandkids, your friends, because this is important information. Thanks for joining on Moveonomics today, where Prescott is everybody's hometown.